So he said don't quiz over irrelevant nonsense. So if I ask about the wrong thing, will I get penalized just for asking questions now?
Well, we should find out.
We only got 5 shields.
Oh, man.
The delicious scent of mid-evening dinner permeated the air, and a soft light shone faintly in the distance.
I want to know what that
Should we ask about the light?
Yeah, press him.
Hold it!
What time would that be exactly? Dinner time? When else would the scent of dinner be in the air, if not dinner time? Do you see? Not so much. The sun had already set by that time. That should be adequate. The sun had already set. So you clearly witnessed what happened tonight, is that correct? And I have been dubbed a witness. Thus I must clearly have witnessed something. Do you see? In that case, how much light was there in the immediate area at that time? Enough to see the nose on my face, but not enough to see the trees ahead. Do you see?
Do you know?
No, that doesn't add up. If the area was completely dark, then you couldn't possibly have witnessed anything. Do you see?
Ho ho!
Nevertheless, something caught my eye. It was a most ominous sight. Ominous is what that sight was. Okay, I get it. It was ominous.
Objection!
Whoa!
Poor form, Sir Apprentice Baker.
Huh?
I hate to disappoint you, but there was in fact light in the area. Huh?
What?
Take a look at this. This is a drawing of the crime scene based on the witness's accounts, as pinned by the court illustrator.
Thanks.
Which you should have given me earlier. The court illustrator? Never heard of that before. Look carefully. This shows what the scene looked like at the time of the murder.
What?
Wow.
Someone drew that?
Huh. An illustration of the highest quality is always... Now then. We have established that by the time the murder occurred, the sun had already set. And so naturally the defendant was carrying a firelit lantern, as we can see.
Well, there's your fire. If it burned them.
A lantern. Eureka, indeed! Yes, that is what I was saying earlier! There was a lantern. Lantern, I say!
It's like a Muppet.
Please, you totally forgot. To be honest, I did not imagine it would be necessary to present this, but... My lord, here is the lantern in question. This is what was responsible for the light illuminating the area.
Oh.
So there was fire because there was a
yeah.
lantern, so we can at least get the testimony on that respect.
Yep.
Very well, the court accepts this into evidence.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of which, Inquisitor Barnum, in this drawing, the accused seems to be holding a milk bucket of sorts.
Bucket of
What became of this?
Is this from the sun?
That is a strange case indeed, my lord. That bucket seemingly disappeared from the murder scene.
What?
The milk bucket disappeared, you say? There has been talk of wolves living in the nearby forest. It is thought they often make off with the items they find on the ground. Great, wolves that steal your stuff. Remind me to never set foot in that forest.
In that pathway?
This is great, Nick. We've got new evidence now. Yeah, I guess you're right. You know, Nick, you really don't look like just some normal run-of-the-mill baker. I'd say you're more like a somewhat articulate run-of-the-mill baker. I think you might even have a knack for being a defender. There's a clear contradiction somewhere in that testimony, and I'm going to find it.
I look like a crazy baker, is the real fact, Maya.
Oh, you grabbed the girl by the arm. It looked like he almost pushed her to the ground.
Don't
press that.
Yes, what else we got?
I heard a faint voice cry out. The next moment, those two villainous men burst into flames.
Press her on that. I want to hear
Hold
that.
it!
Exactly whose cry did you hear? Well, it was the accused. It was Isabela's voice, of course. And did you get a good look at Miss Cantabella's face? Yes, I mean, she was carrying that huge lantern after all. You're only sure because all the other witnesses just finished saying they saw her with the lantern.
Okay, so you can press people on things, probably not get in trouble.
There was not a trace of fire to be seen in the area, without
Okay.
a doubt. Magic must have been used.
I think you should.
Let's press him first.
You should press him first. Yes.
Hold it!
Isn't it a bit premature to assume it was magic? What an absurd statement! Say what? Think about it. The nades were engulfed in flames in the blink of an eye. The blink of an eye. There was not a single trace of any other fire source to be found in the area. Not a trace! They're laying it on really thick. Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Time for a present. Spell was carrying a lantern at the time of the murder. We know.
Wait.
A certain witness's testimony. Even if we know what the contradiction is, where do we go from there?
Maya, shut up. We know how this works.
I mean, what can we do? We're just a couple of bakers.
Oh
after
my!
all.
If I hear the word baker one more time, I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna bake you.
bake the
I'm
faces.
gonna go get baked.
Bake the faces and get baked. All right. We know.
Don't get good baked, guys. Winners don't use drugs. Okay, testimony's another listen. Let's get on with it.
Okay, so
They're really softballing it to us
Yep.
on this first one.
all right. Present his fire lantern.
Objection!
Objection. Oh, he's remembering what it feels like.
Well, what's the matter, defender? Feels good. It feels nice.
Yay!
What is this feeling?
This rush, this tingle. What is? Oh, so excited.
I just felt the urge to shout out right from the bottom of my lungs while pointing my finger.
Very specific.
Objection. Objection. I can't help but feel, oh, that's a word I've used quite a bit in the past. It's the name of my designer fragrance. Objection. That's it. I remember now. I remember everything.
Do you really? Oh,
Even
thank
things
God.
I didn't do.
Oh shit.
The legal League of Attorneys exchange, Spella's trial, and in that strange book.
Oh, good.
5 years ago. I've wasted my youth. Baking bread. This feeling, I feel like I could take on the world. Witness! Oh, what's with the sudden pointing?
It's rude, you know.
I am a soon-to-be member of the Honorable Knights of the Inquisition. I accept your challenge. Have at you! This rubber sword will kill you outright. You say that no fire was present at the scene of the crime, meaning the defendant must have used magic. Unfortunately for you, that is not the case. What do you mean, Sir Apprentice Baker?
My faux hawk is tingling.
What I mean is that the defendant was in fact carrying a lantern containing fire. Those two rogues were actually burned by the flame that was inside that lantern. That's the only logical explanation. We're all unimpressed. My, what a startling conclusion you've come to, Sir Apprentice Baker. I'm gonna call you Sab.
Sab.
What do you mean? The only logical explanation? Do you agree with this statement, honorable witnesses? It is presumptuous for a man that knows nothing to claim that he knows something about which he really knows nothing. Huh? Besides, how could one teeny tiny flame be strong enough to set them both ablaze like that? There were two of them. How could that flame engulf them so fast? Furthermore, if they did burn as you claim they did, do you mean to suggest that they were soaked in oil or something?
Yes,
Oh.
I do suggest that.
Well, Sir Blue Knight, it would seem you have bitten off more than you can chew.
Ah!
I definitely didn't see that coming. What say you, my lord? Do you have any thoughts on the proceedings thus far? Given the testimony as we have heard it, this court has come to its conclusion.
No, it hasn't.
It was a truly gruesome and merciless act, An act for which only one thing could be held responsible. The nefarious crime of magic.
Oh no.
Hold it!
Yeah.
Wait just a second. Wait several seconds, maybe even a minute. Is there something you have forgotten to mention, Defender? Not exactly, Your Honor. It's just that, I mean, you just said magic. That can't be right, can it? What are you suggesting, Sir Apprentice Baker? Mr. Sab?
Mr. Sam.
Witches use magic, which in turn brings about disaster. Such is the way of this world, is it not? These were the two strangers that got talked about in the story. Love on fire in the dark. This is the story. He predicted that would happen. Well, yeah, that may seem to be the case. But no way is it actually possible. This court finds Espella Cantabella, the accused, charged with being a witch.
No.
Espella, a witch? A witch's existence in this world is a crime in itself.
Man. Whoa.
The ability to use and control magic is a criminal offense, indeed. As such, any witch found practicing magic will be sentenced to death.
That's spelled wrong.
By fire.
That's an S. It's practicing spelled with the C. It's fine.
No, you're wrong. I'm not a witch. I'm nothing you've heard.
What?
I'm running for Senate. I'm not a witch. I'm a... Sir Apprentice Baker, I do not envy your current predicament. My lord, hand down your guilty verdict against this witch immediately.
Yo, don't tell the judge what to do, buddy. What?
But there's no evidence to prove that any magic was really used. Put a sock in it, bread boy. We all heard her cast the spell.
Did you?
Huh? That's right. Snowy and I heard it. My son is so smart, isn't it right, my precious son? We heard that incantation quite clearly. That frightening voice. There's no mistaking it. It was Espella's voice. She's so scary. I hate high-pitched voices that are kind of shy. These ears do not lie. I clearly heard an incantation. Most sinister. Ignies it went.
This man's a witch!
Incantation? Ignies? It's no good. I just can't wrap my head around this topsy-turvy, otherworldly court. Well then, it would seem the defense has no further objections. It appears so. The court finds the use of magic at the time of the murder to be an undeniable fact. Furthermore, the honorable witnesses have stated that they each heard an incantation being recited. The court finds no reason to delay its verdict any longer.
This man's intimidating.
Nick, we have to do something. I know, but what exactly can we say? Here in this world, our sense of logic is completely useless. We're gonna have to use puzzles?
This court is ready to hand down its verdict for the case of Espella Cantabella.
Her name is so ridiculous.
Hold it.
Hold it. What?
Who? What? Who? What?
That was his voice?
Layton. Logic won't work, but puzzles might.
I request that the court hold its verdict a moment longer.
What?
What is the meaning of this intrusion?
What's happening?
I have something I believe will be of use to the defense. A weapon of sorts.
So mad over there.
I'm in a courtroom. I had my breakfast. And I'm full of punches.
The Grand Grimoire. All of this world's magic is contained within its pages.
Oh, so we can learn about the spell.
Without it, this trial cannot reach a satisfactory conclusion.
The Grand Grimoire.
That's the biggest grimoire I've ever seen.
Ah! What are you guys doing back here?
You're in our corner now, huh? We meet again, Mr. Wright. Well now, it seems things are already afoot here, although the real contest begins now. Are you fully prepared?
Luke's face is the best.
So you here to help us?
Of course! A professor always helps people in trouble. It is the duty of every gentleman, right, Professor?
We are all gentlemen.
Professor. There is a saying that I find quite useful in situations such as this. There is a time for words and a time for action. Right. You have been working as a baker in this town up until now, have you not? I must say, I am a little mystified. I'd have expected you to be more familiar with this world and its system of magic. Yeah, how can I put this? I guess that's not quite the full story. Is that so? I kind of had an epiphany just now. I remembered all sorts of things, like how I'm not actually a baker. And well, how magic can't really exist. Then it would seem I was correct about you, Mr. Wright. You are not, in fact, a citizen of this town. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Right. At least it seems that way. However, for now, we have no option but to accept this world and its rules as a reality. Without first understanding those rules, I'm afraid you will not be able to save Miss Cantabella. But things like magic only exist in fairy tales and make-believe. And that show I saw in Vegas.
And never video games.
I'm afraid, Mr. Wright, it would seem magic does in fact exist in this world. Such a truth cannot be denied. Indeed, that is why the Grand Grimoire is a weapon well suited for this witch trial. At the moment, you are tantamount to a knight without a sword.
Huh.
I have a sword! I feel more like an attorney without a chance, actually.
Right then, Mr. Wright. I'll explain how the Grand Grimoire works.
Thanks, Luke.
Have a look at the touch screen. There you'll see the Grand Grimoire button.
Whoa, there is.
Touching the Grand Grimoire button will open up the Grand Grimoire.
Do it. Oh, we can't. Never mind.
You will be able to present spells from the Grand Grimoire in much the same way you would present evidence. This book will surely be a most important asset for us in this trial.
Oh, that reminds me. I've gone ahead and bookmarked the spell Ignise for you.
Spell's been bookmarked in the Grand Grimoire. Summons a
Okay.
circle of flame within a 1 meter radius of the caster. Requires an incantation and scepter to
A
cast.
scepter?
She doesn't have a scepter. Ignise, that's the magic spell all the witnesses said they heard, right?
Nick, you should take a look at that spell.
Okay.
Obviously. All I have to do is touch the Grand Grimoire button, huh? Huh?
Alright. That was all we had to do.
The defender has been given more than enough time. It would seem this trial has reached its end. Is that understood, Sir Apprentice Baker? This case is quite straightforward, with very little room for doubt.
No
The
room.
witness testimony, coupled with the illustration of the time of the murder, makes it quite clear what must have occurred. This murder was the result of magic. And furthermore, the caster of said magic was none other than the accused. That, Sir Apprentice Baker, is the truth. Best you go back to baking, for I believe your days in the courtroom have crumbled.
Okay, no. No.
Ah, the pun! Is everything okay, Mr. Wright?
He hates puns.
Yes, I'm just allergic to puns. It would seem that photographs do not exist in this world. Photos don't exist? I guess that makes sense. Ye old time period and all. The sketch drawn by the court illustrator. Therein lies your final chance, Mr. Wright. My final chance? I understand the witnesses have already finished their testimony. However, if you could perhaps find a clear contradiction within this illustration. There's another contradiction? Yeah, she doesn't have a staff.
Yeah.
In that case, there's still hope that I can turn this around.
Mr. Wright, you have to hurry. Look, I really need to use the bathroom. I got a tinkle.
I got a tinkle.
He looks ready to deliver his verdict any second now.
Or hit you in the face with a hammer.
We should keep expositioning and not
Yeah.
and try his patience as much as we can.
What should I do? Okay. Point out the
Point
contradiction.
out the I'm just gonna give up.
Give up.
I'm gonna go get an ice cream. And I'll watch, and then I'll get some marshmallows and roast them over as well as rotting corpse.
Oh no.